An eye-opening update on what's happening with the fires in Louisiana, where the feds told the firefighters to back off and let it burn. Also, we have military commissaries on military bases starting to show shortages now. We also have a New York farmer letting us know what the hay situation in New York State is like. We have Columbia checking in. We have a whole bunch of reports coming from you guys from all over the country and around the world. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant, and we cover food shortages, empty shelves, supply chain issues that are happening around the world. And you guys keep feeding us information about what you're hearing at your workplaces, what you're seeing on your farms, what you're seeing in your grocery stores. So let's jump into your reports. Well, we want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They do a fantastic job, and they've worked with a lot of you guys already about moving your retirement funds out of stocks and bonds into something safe like gold, silver, or platinum coins in a bank vault. They're yours. And they're sitting there waiting for you. And when you take distribution out of your 401k or your IRA, you actually get those coins. You don't have to sell them. You don't get cash. You get the actual coins. There will be a link at the end of this video that you can click on to find out more information from them. No obligations, of course. This is from a viewer in a small town in Alberta, Canada. Both of our grocery stores have no regular table salt. Didn't check the Walmart, but there were some specialty salts like kosher or Celtic, but no regular table salt. We're starting to see that again where there's salt issues out there. Seeing that here in Pittsburgh as well. Issues with it. I don't know why there's issues. There shouldn't be issues. We're seeing more and more of those type of items out there. This is from Amy. Just got back from Berkeley, California, where potatoes and sweet potatoes and other vegetables are supposed to be at the grocery store, right? We had 12 feet of grapes instead. So they replaced all the potatoes, sweet potatoes, and other vegetables. And that's going to be a recurring theme you guys are going to be hearing here on this video, as well as probably going forward, is as predicted, we're entering into the potato blackout season. Until the next harvest of potatoes comes in, we're going to start seeing potatoes disappear off the store shelves, and we're already getting a lot of reports from you guys all over that that's already happening here in the United States. All right, so grapes instead of potatoes. That is not a good sign, and that is in California where a lot of this stuff comes from. PDS in Daleville, Virginia. Only 3 5-pound bags of cane sugar. Which we needed and bought, and only 2 20-pound bags of generic sugar. So very low sugar there in Daleville, Virginia. A lot of you guys are sharing about issues with sugar out there. I'm not seeing that here in Pittsburgh yet, and we really shouldn't be seeing issues with sugar out there, but a lot of you guys are seeing those issues. So it is what it is. So if you're looking for sugar, you need to get stocked up on sugar, which is a good thing to be stocked up on. If you have your rice, you have your beans, getting some bucketfuls of sugar is a good idea. It's a great thing to trade with other people. If hard times get tough, people will always want sugar, and you can use sugar for other things. However, you got to be real careful with storage of sugar. Of course, if it gets too warm, it does melt. So obviously be careful with that. This is from Fatima in Crawfordville, Florida. Only tiny golf ball-sized potatoes of the red and golden. Russet potatoes were a little bit larger, but major disappearance and few brand options of powder laundry soap as well, and bar shower soap at Walmart and Sam's Club. So I haven't been hearing from you guys reports of issues with regular laundry detergent, but I have heard from you guys that powdered laundry detergent is becoming more scarce out there, and that is true. Joseph says, I live on a military base. Store supplies have been shrinking out in town, but I was surprised to see that the base commissary supplies are starting to shrink as well. This is rare. Of course, they have their own supply chain and everything like that. Haunted Hillbilly has this to say about Columbia. My family told me last night that food in Colombia is disappearing. They shouldn't be having shortages down there. Venezuela's been having import, sanctions on them and all that kind of stuff like that. But Colombia is relatively stable and should be getting decent stuff. But food is disappearing in Colombia. I was told that in Bogota, their prices were going up, but smaller cities around it have run out of food to purchase. So food shortages in the surrounding cities and towns in Colombia. East Tennessee has shelves half empty, but food is available. This is from Chickens Are Cool. Oklahoma City, in north central area of that, milk is going bad before the date consistently. You guys are saying that pretty much everywhere. Aisles are wider, more junk on shelves. Potatoes are terrible. Bags of romaine lettuce hearts, if available, are brown. AC Repair Tech also noticed exceedingly high refrigerant prices. We talked about that on a previous video. Availability of parts. Went to buy produce at Sprouts, and it was low and not good quality. Went through dozens of apples to get 3 decent apples. That's once again in Oklahoma City. MRO says, it is the end of season for summer items and portable AC units are on clearance. If you need AC and have a window to place a unit, that might work as a solution for the backlog time. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but basically my main central heating and heat pump / AC unit it kind of doesn't work. So I've been afraid to get a tech out here because I just don't even want to know how much that's going to cost. But what I've kind of actually moved towards is I got one small room, like a 2-pipe heat pump, basically, and I'm looking at getting another one. Basically, I have a whole house to myself, and so I don't really need to heat everything up, and I kind of like the cold in the winter. So, but it's a lot cheaper because the electric resistance heating still works here on the unit, and that just gets really expensive in the winter. So even though I keep temperatures down. So basically 2 of these stand-up units, the ones on rollers kind of thing that you push up to a window and then you stick the tubes with the plate up into the window. And that's kind of the direction I've kind of gone, both for AC as well as for heating. One, because it's, I know what the price is and I know what I'm going to get out of that. So you can get them for $400 or $500 for a unit for 1,400 BTUs, and that works for me. It's efficient because it's heat pump, but then the other real big thing is that it's regular 110, okay? So I can just take these plugs and I can plug them into my solar generators and my battery backups, and I don't need any special plugs or adapters to run it. Whereas my central heating unit, I'd need all sorts of fancy wiring to get that thing hooked up to my battery packs. And so this is definitely a great way forward for me. But for you, just think through what you're doing with your heating and cooling and all that. But their point stands. That's the end of the AC unit, AC time. So you're probably going to see a lot of those things go on sale. So you might want to stock up. It's a great time to buy some of those units. Also look for sales for those. I'm looking for another unit, but then the unit that I just bought, they're out of stock of those for some reason. So I'm waiting for a good deal on another unit. So Palomino Girl says, on hay, I've been on farms and had horses since the 1960s. First cutting here in upstate and central New York is normally around Memorial Day, first week of June. Well, this year I spent the entire months of June and July very worried about hay. Woke up every morning worried about it. Was I going to have to travel to Pennsylvania with the landscape trailer several times? We had a month drought from mid-May to mid-June, and then it rained every day, and it was never dry enough to cut. Finally, the hay guys could cut first cutting in the first week of August. Not Memorial Day, first week of August. So what am I doing differently? I'm buying enough hay to last me for more than a year. And then she goes into talking about kind of some of the how to store it and that kind of thing, because hay loses nutritional value if it's stored. But that's kind of upstate New York, and we're getting that from a lot of places, especially out in the Midwest and the middle of the country, where there's been a lot of drought. Hay issues are going to be severe this year. Hay prices are either really fine in certain places, and then other places it's really, really tight. So people with cattle are having to make some tough choices this year, that's for sure. This is from John. Here in the southern tier of New York, along in the course of 30 miles, 3 years ago there were 20 dairy farms of 50 to 100 cows. There is only one left as others lost their market when the giant corporations simply refused to buy it anymore. Now in the past few weeks, 2 milk processing plants have closed for a lack of milk. Now I'm getting this bits and pieces from you guys that there's a lot of meat packing plants as well as milk processing plants that are closing down around the country. And it's starting to look like where we're finding a lot of these issues is actually due to processing plants shutting down. So keep your ear to the ground on that. I'm going to look into that a little more. But if you hear of milk processing plants shutting down, and other things. Now, of course, they've banned it so that you can't drink raw milk. It's got to be pasteurized. But now they're shutting down all the pasteurization factories, and funnily enough, you can't buy milk anymore. Isn't that just grand? That's just wonderful. Gotta love the government. They do so much for us. They protect us from freedom and stuff, and low prices, and lots of other things, and healthy food. Anyway, Yippee Skippy gives us an update on the LA fire. So this is a Louisiana fire, right? So they shared before about how there was this fire in Louisiana. It was small. They had the bulldozer. Their fire team was there visiting from Texas, and they were going to go out and go snub this fire out. And they were told by the feds to back off, and they had it covered. And so they were told to move to another area, and they did so. But then that fire went on to burn 3,700 acres and over 100 structures. So this is kind of a little more information on that. I have confirmation that it was a Fed that told the fire department not to fight the fire. It was a pencil-pushing FEMA worker with no field experience. He told them to hose down the buildings but not deal with the trees. The next day, the sheriff told him to pound concrete and took over. The governor, and they mention which party that is, but I don't think it's relevant, but you can maybe read between the lines. The governor said it was caused by a climate change crisis. It was actually arson. We'll see if he retracts his claim. And the police have caught yet another person intentionally trying to start a fire in a field. Funny how that just keeps coming up. The Greek fires out there, they keep arresting people for arson. And the other ones that they don't arrest people, you got to wonder how many of those were just people they didn't catch. This is from Brian. Just got back from my local grocery store here in north central Pennsylvania. The store brand pasta was all but wiped out. With the Durham wheat harvest around the world, that's becoming a bigger issue. Remember to stock up on your pasta if you want to stock up. They only had a few boxes of rotini. Ramen noodles were even low. The store brand canned vegetables used to be 55 cents a can. Then they were 77 cents a can. Now they're 97 cents a can. 3% inflation. Thanks, resident of the White House. The store brand dairy area was extremely low. Yogurt, cottage cheese, butter, and the likes were just about empty. Buckle down, everyone. Please do keep your reports coming. Use the word update and any comment on these videos on this channel. and give us some sort of geographical location on what you're seeing or what you're hearing. If you need to email me directly, poplarpreparedness@gmail.com. If you're sending me video links and just links, I can't click on links. That's how you get viruses. So I'm open to you guys, but if you tell me what a story is, I can go Google it myself and find those things. But some of you guys are just sending me just links, and I can't click on them because I don't know what they are. I could be getting rickrolled, or I could be getting a virus. So we don't want to do that. We want to keep this channel alive and kicking. So if you guys want to get some more information from our friends over at Genesis Gold, Jonathan and his team will send you some information. If you click on this link right here and fill out your information, they'll send you a packet and get in touch with you. If you want to check out another video from his channel, there's one right up here. You can click right on the screen. Otherwise, I will see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.